everybody. Welcome back. I have to say, I don't even think in my whole entire life that I've been this happy and grateful and thankful. And I'm about to share with you why. um, Yesterday's video was wow. But there was a few things that I forgot to tell you concerning that same night of the video I made before this one. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll have to go to the video before this one. So, do you remember when I told you I was looking straight ahead and something got my attention a little higher, and a woman was uh, being laid down on a slab? I don't know if I should say slab or a bed. Slab sounds like something a person who was unalived laying on, and that's not what that was. Before I seen that, I'm looking straight ahead. My protectors were putting out very beautiful shapes. And so I'm staring ahead. I think it was the first image that I seen was the Galactic Council. And it wasn't all of them. And it was like 2 rows of them sitting down, and it kind of went either an oval, or I should say rounded, or a triangle, a point. And I'm just staring ahead, and I was like, no, I was in disbelief. And I'm just like, I just knew it was the Galactic Light Council. And the reason why I know is because I am tied with them. And my intuition was confirming that also. But I'm just like in disbelief. And then it changed to something else. And I was like, no. But I don't remember what was the next thing I seen. And then another thing I forgot to add, and I remembered it last night. And I'm like, oh no, I forgot. And I asked my protectors to do it again. They didn't. They were showing me other beautiful, beautiful. I'm calling them shapes. These were like, I don't know. Yesterday, I'll tell you about yesterday's after I explain this next thing that I forgot. Okay, so I'm looking at all the entities in the room. And this whole time, the protectors were putting out different shapes. And so my attention was taken from that at some point because I was looking at all the beings in the room. It was a lot. And in the tube. And then all of a sudden, I want to cry. I really want to cry. All of a sudden, I heard what sounded like many slinkies making that sound. And it was this rhythm. And it was real soft. And I remember looking up, and it was like rings of baby blue color. And it kept going, and I don't know how long it went. But I'm sitting there thinking, that is literally shifting my soul. It was a calm. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was absolutely, totally beautiful. I wish you could have seen that. Oh my gosh. And heard it. And I'm assuming that all the entities in the room were enjoying it. They had to have been. Okay, last night. This will probably be a shorter video compared to yesterday's video. So there wasn't as many entities in the room. It started out with a lot, or so I think. My protector was switching the shapes again, but he was doing something that was a little different. And I want to say maybe he'd done some of them yesterday too. But as I was telling him about the slinky sound, he was putting out shapes as I mentioned it to him. And these shapes were coming from a different area. The top of them, they were in rows, and the top of them were flat. What was hanging down was the design. And whoever was putting those out is very artistic. It was beautiful. But I can see them. I think it was coming from my desk. But you could see them starting and building, and it was kind of forming an arch. And they just kept going and going, like they were creating them as they went. And then they came out toward me, and they would go over my head. So I got to see them very close up. And I'm like, that is absolutely beautiful. And he never did the slinky sound. And I hope to hear that again soon. I really do, because it was so beautiful. And then some shapes come at me. And I remember thinking, do I need to close my eyes? What's going on? What are they doing? I would allow them to do anything they wanted because of who they are. But these look like masks coming to me. And it looked like it had slits for eyes. But one was coming to me it started fast, and then started coming to me really slow. And I was sitting there thinking, I was just going to burn my eyes. Oh my gosh, what's going on? What is that? You know, I wasn't scared. I just kind of wanted to be, more or less educated on what they were. And it did kind of burn, and it was not a big deal. I would have done 100 of them. But then another one came. I'm going to guess maybe 4 came. And they kept landing in the same spot. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so you're doing this for a reason. I accept, and I'm grateful. Thank you. I don't remember a different outcome after they did that. Oh my gosh. First, I'm going to tell you what other things I seen in the room. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I think I was telling the protector, again, the one who spoke to me, I would like to see you. I've seen your face. I don't care what you look like, blah, 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 blah. And he came to me in a full suit again with a helmet, and it was like mirrored. And I just said, show me your face, you know, and he didn't. So I waved, and he disappeared. For some reason, I asked to see faces. I think it was to prove to my protector I'm not going to be scared. And the faces I seen, I was pretty amazed at. During this time, the shapes are rotating, moving, whatever you want to call it. There were insects in there. There was a crumb crab. I kid you not. It was a crab walking on the shapes, and he was shiny and chrome looking. And I tried to get him to get in my hand, and he wouldn't do it. I don't remember the other insects, but I remember stating something about the butterflies. And I don't remember if they showed me any butterflies. But I said, you know, show me your faces. Put them right here. And I think I said, and I'll show you I'm not scared. I'm not 100% on that ending. I think it was a female. She was tribal. And I only say that because it looked like she was wearing a mask. And it was like smooth looking. And I could see the eyes. And the mask or the face was painted like tribal paint. It was red, yellow, and white. And she was coming toward me. Or no, I think Katie Corner. And I'm looking at her face, and I said, I see you. And she kept going, and she went out that wall. And I'm like, where did they go? I want to know where they go. It's kind of weird because I've seen maybe other tribal faces. I'm not sure. The top of them were jagged, and they kind of went down. You could see the eyes, and it looked like a face mask. I'm not 100% sure because some ETs, their head is actually made that way. I seen almond eyes. I seen what I think were slits. And I apologize. I know there's more faces. I know this without a doubt. This moment, I can't remember because I'm so in awe of what's going on in my life now. I can actually say that I'm truly and extensively happy. I'm at that point starting yesterday. I should say starting from my protectors, because that's when things started being revealed. But in the beginning of the protectors was a little rough, and it was all my fault. It was all my fault. I take the blame. I had no trust, and I should have trusted, especially because of who they are. Now, this is where it starts getting really interesting. So I thought a lot of these questions, and I would forget to think them instead of saying them. And so all night I was verbally and then thinking, verbally and thinking. And I'm like, really? I said, this question is for my protectors. Was that Ezekiel last night, my soulmate? And I'm waiting for the colors. And I'm just so, it was just like my energy was going all over waiting for the answer. And green came, which is yes. I was overjoyed. I was tremendously overjoyed. And so last night, and then I said, is he here right now? Graham came in. I don't remember if it was at that moment when I asked to see him. I said, at some point, I don't remember when, actually, I said, can he make himself known? And so I'm scanning the room, and here he came. He was doing a slow walk on the side of the bed, the side that I slept on, and he's walking slow. Like he didn't want to scare me. All I could see mainly was from his hips down, because they were eye level. I was sitting up in bed, and they were kind of like eye level. And I kid you not, his head still touched the ceiling. He still had his armor on, and his thighs were still enormous, just rippling, full of muscles. He slowly approached, and I said, is that you, Zeke? And I got the feeling that yes was said. And I just started beaming with happiness. And I asked him, I said, can I see your face? I don't know what he was doing, because he was so tall. I kept looking up. I was just staring as long as I could, but it was so misshaped. I hope that's a word. Where as the taller he got, how do I word that? As I'm looking higher and higher on his body, it became more distorted. And so I was staring at the poor guy, trying to see his head or his face. And twice, when I asked to see his face, that one face that I told you was jagged on top and that went around at eyes, that came to me twice. I really don't think that was him. If it was a tiny head. And I don't think he has a tiny head on his beautiful body. So I'm sorry. At one point, I could see where his hips were. And I want to say that I can see outlines of his arms. I might be wrong, but I held out my hand real close to him, because he was close to me. And it looked like he was going to put his hand in mine. And then the shapes went over my fingers and hand like a glove once again. Then I don't know if he touched me or not. I think there's something about we as humans that are alive cannot touch souls, I think, because that came through to me last night. I don't know if it came through me in that correct description or if I distorted the description. I'm not sure. Then I was still looking around and then I looked back at him, and every time I looked away, I was hoping that when I looked back, I could see his head. And so I stopped asking him, to see his face. And I got where I would scan the room, because I'm so interested in both of them, other souls. Zeke, tonight I'm going to ask to see my guides. And I hope to see Bob and Orrin. I hope to see all of them, but I feel like we've been close, Bob and Orrin and me and myself and I. So anyway, I was scanning the room and checking out the shapes because they were coming in so beautiful. I had to admire them. And when I looked back for Zeke, he wasn't in the same spot where I was looking at him. He was kind of more toward the foot of the bed, which is where I'm sitting. I have no words to describe how I feel about this man. But he knew I was looking at him somehow. And he would walk back to me. And that happened several times. It was kind of like he was coming to the end of the bed to converse with someone. I hope that's an actual word. It seems pretty big and important for me to even know what that means. But it happened several times. He'd be at the foot of the bed. I would make eye contact with his hips because I couldn't see his head. And then I could see him walking slowly back to me. Oh, wow. I just forgot I said all this. It just came to me. I told him that I think of him all the time and that I love him. I said, my human side does not know you, but my soul on the inside, I can feel has great love for you. And I want to say, these wordings, oh my God, these memories are coming back to me. And then when I go to say it, it's like wiped clean. But I told him that I am grateful that he's there. I am eternally thankful and that I love him. And I think of him often. And it's weird because the human side of me is like, how can you love him? You don't even know him. Well, being a medium and reading energy and seeing energy, feeling other entities, not just humans, feeling their emotions kind of grabs at me. While I was eyeing him, I just felt massive protection and massive love. I couldn't explain to him without feeling embarrassed about how much I loved him. Why was I going to feel embarrassed? Because my human side is saying, you don't even know him. How can you love him that much? And that's a good point because in our human life here, if you approach someone and say, oh, I met this guy yesterday. Oh my gosh, I love him so, so much. You would look at us like, you're crazy. You don't even know this guy. How can you love him? And that crossed my mind last night. But I was like, I don't care. I don't care because I feel him. I feel so much that he's either right behind me or right beside. And I can feel his energy more now that I've seen him. There was no tube or gate last night. And I don't know which entities that I seen were male or female, except for my protector that came to me and Zeke. But I'm still grateful. I'm eternally grateful. I am so happy with where I am in this life right now. I've asked them many, many times to do this similar thing that I'm going through right now so I can have something to live for. Want to stay on Earth because that wasn't existing. That last sentence I said, I wanted to leave and I wanted to go home. And I meant that on a spiritual level. I had to be very careful with what I say. And I kept telling them, please give me something. Give me something that would make me want to stay. And it took them a while, but it has started. I've had this internal feeling that at 66, I will cross over. I don't know if that's true. If it is, and I am needed to stay longer, as long as I'm going through this, I would stay longer. I don't want to. And I say that because of my memory, my cognitive impairment. It was titled mild to moderate. I do feel it's moderate. because even my son was bringing up things when I seen him a couple of days ago I could not remember. In our conversations during the same day, I would re-ask, did I already say that? And he'd be like, yeah, it's okay. But I just heard a noise, and I hope you heard it. Since I think they're letting me know, since they are showing themselves to me, I've been hearing more noises, and it's noises that you wouldn't think would happen. Like yesterday's video, it was a smacking. And I was alone yesterday, clear till 3:30 actually. It was a loud smacking. And I really hope you heard it clearly. And just now, I have a pair of scissors over there. And I'm always moving them around, but I hadn't touched them in a couple of days, maybe even longer. And just now, I heard what sounded like them kind of moving on the table or desk, I should say. And then it sounded like it scissored, it closed, whatever. When I edit this, if I can hear it, I will leave it just so you can hear it. And I will put listen right before it happens so you'll know. But that is happening more and more and more. And I'm not scared because I'm like, I'm protected. I want to cry. I am protected. And I ask my protectors, I think every night, and if not, I should, if he would maintain the room, keeping negative energies out. And he always says yes. And he says yes quickly because a green just comes rolling in. I think I even told my number one protector, I had them numbered, and I'm like, I would forget who's what, you know? So I asked who I think was the lead protector, the one that spoke to me. And I say that because all leads, whether it be police or military, their top ranked official, I'm not sure how to word that, are always the ones that start the communication. And that was the impression I got. I think I told him and Ezekiel that please help me get telepathy. Please find somebody that can help me get that, because I asked the lead protector if he would talk or tell me his name. I cannot remember. I do want to know his name, but I couldn't hear him. But on the very first night, I heard him. And I told him, I can't hear you. So I don't know. I don't want telepathy where I can read everybody's mind. That's not the kind of telepathy I want. And I don't know if it goes hand in hand with everything else. I just want telepathy when I'm communicating with these beings. I really love this. So I'm really tired, and it is past 11 o'clock, and I've been going at it with my sleeping pills, fighting not going to sleep, or going to, you know where I'm going. I didn't want to go to sleep. So I was fighting to stay awake. Everything slowed down. Every now and then I would scan the room and stop. It was so weird because I knew where to stop. And I just waited, and a face came to me. And then I would, be talking to Zeke or whatever, look around, and I would scan the room and then stop, and then something would come to me. I love that about me. It's like I know where they're at. It's pretty amazing. But anyway, last night I scanned, and I think a couple more came to me, and then I scanned again, and nothing. And so I told my protector and Zeke, I said, I think I'm going to go to bed now. I said, I'm pretty tired. And I don't remember if I gave my thanks, but since I've been awake this morning, I have said it annoyingly an amount of time. And I was in the bathroom on my throne, and I was sitting there just smiling and saying, "Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you." And I thought, and I said out loud, "I can't stop thanking you." I don't know. And it's been like all day. But I told him that, I think I'm going to go to bed. I didn't want to get up and stir the atmosphere. I got the impression of me grabbing my enormous big black pillow and walking through the sea of souls. And you could see where I'm parting the geometric shapes as I'm barreling over to my computer desk to put my pillow up there. That's what I was saying. I doubt that's what was happening. But I told him and I said, "I'm sorry. I hope I don't walk through you." And so I put my pillow up and I looked around and he was in the same spot Zeke was. So I laid down and I was facing Zeke, which is, I faced that way. I normally face this way. I looked at him a couple of times and he walked closer to me and then back to the foot and stuff. And I literally tried to stay awake a little bit longer to savor this being in my eyes. I think I saw my protector leave. He went vertical and out the wall. I do think that's his way of saying goodnight or goodbye or whatever. And then I saw Zeke go horizontal and out the wall. And he went slowly, very slowly. And I was saying my goodnights to him. I fell asleep and then woke back up. The room was clear, but the shapes were still here. They were clear. And once again, they're clear. So whatever wall or ceiling color is behind the shapes, that's the color they are. And the only way I can tell that they're in the room while they're clear is looking at the air vent. And I mentioned quite a bit, it looks white and foamy. And that, or the spots on the ceiling. I think the roof leaked at some point and there's brown spots up there. Sometimes when they're clear and over that, it looks like they're moving. So that's the only time I can tell if the clear shapes are, there. But anyway, I feel like I need to pay more attention to the wall where the shapes come from, because I feel like I'm missing some things. Like when I saw the Galactic Light Council there, it was on that wall. I heard that sound again. I don't even know where that was coming from. I am going to end this here. I want you to know I am so happy. And I hope you don't think I'm like rubbing it in your face. I'm happy and you're not. Because that's not what I'm doing. I want to share my experiences with you, particularly, because I think the humans, people, and starseeds that are awake like I once was and didn't see anything, well, I did. I'm sorry. The minute I woke up, I was seeing things. But anyway, I think the humans need to know that there are very, very good ETs in this world, in this universe, galaxy, however far you want to go. They are good. They are very good and loving and healing and everything positive. And I really wish I could share these visits with you visually. I will say this also because my ex brought it up. I was talking to him about it. And he said, you need to get a camera in there and see if you can capture anything. I tried that once. And I woke up one night in my apartment and I seen the shapes coming in. And I remember I put my arm out and I was fingering through them. I did that a lot back then. And in the camera, as I was watching it, I could not see anything. The room was clear. And then from that point, for probably up to a month, I really thought I was losing my mind. I thought repeatedly, majorly bad, I'm insane. I'm hallucinating. But I'm not. I know now that I'm not. but I want to share these experiences with you. So, with that being said, I'm going to end this here. I love you guys so much. And being who I am, you don't know how much, but I love you very much. And I'm going to send each and every one of you love, light, and peace. Bye.